Hello, hello everyone. We are going to be getting started. Give everyone some time to get in. All right, we're going to be getting started here in a moment. We're going to be talking about Tron Dapps. Of course, we're going to be talking about Tron. We're going to be talking about mining Tron Dapps. We're going to be talking about buying the tokens, hodling. Hey, Peter, welcome. Welcome. You're on Tron Bet now. What are we doing on Tron Bet? Just checking it out or what? Tron mooning, meaning you're playing the moon game? Is that what we're talking about? That is such a popular game. People love that game. Oh, I can't do it. I like on Tron Bet, I like the ring game. Look, I think Tron Bet's biggest. Have you played Tron Raider at all? Because Tron Raider looks pretty cool. No? Oh, you gotta check out Tron Raider. Tron Raider is a similar concept to the moon game. It's a very similar concept. But I definitely like Tron Raider better. It'll be about an hour. Yeah, let me see. I'll pull it up. I'll see if I can pull it up. I thought I had it up here. Maybe I didn't. Tron. It's a similar game, very similar concept. It works the exact same. At least this part of it, the Rage version does. You basically, it's got a countdown. You make a bet. You set the amount. Same concept. And it starts. Did it even accept that? Oh, I missed it. But then it's the same. Instead of the moon, the idea is, you're attacking the monster and you're trying to get to the loot. There's another interesting concept to it, though, is if your attack goes through, like in this case, my attack would have went through because I had a 2x. If the attack goes through, you'll get stars. And the stars basically are a portion of this winning, and this winning is like I don't know how long the round lasts, but these are like the monster's hit points. So you kind of get another little side bonus basically if there's any. This can be in the negative, but typically it's like 5, 10, 15,000. Let's try. I'll try to play again. I usually actually do, when I play this, I usually do it on, my strategy is 3. See if it goes through. Oh, it's not going to go through because oh, maybe it will. There we go. And then it'll go along here and start. I'll tell you what I like about Tron Bet, though. I like the social aspect. Ooh, lost. So now you're about to see what I do. I can't help it. I can't do it. I'm bad. I like investing in these games partially because I like gambling. I'm martingale on my 3x. And I've been known to go quite high. What about Bankroll, Timothy? What's the news on Bankroll? Last I heard on Bankroll, you might know more than I do about Bankroll. Last I heard is they're waiting for Bank Luck, Bank Luck, and it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. That was the last thing I heard on Bankroll. Am I gonna hit my 3? Am I gonna hit my 3, Peter? Is it gonna happen? Yeah, Timothy, I agree. It is going down. Oh, I hit it. I'm out of there. So, but I should, when the round ends, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but I should get little stars over here, Peter. Let's see. Yeah, I got one. So it says right now, when this round ends, I'll get 0.33 Tron. And of course, the stars add up. And what happens is when you go to log back in the next time, if I leave this time, if I come to log in back in later, there'll be a little button here that will say claim stars, and they just go to your little Tron balance. Do you actually mine the tokens at all, Peter? Timothy, we'll talk about Tron Bet here in a minute. We'll talk about Bankroll. I wasn't going to really talk about Bankroll. We're going to be talking about all the gaming platforms, but I'll mention Bankroll because I think it's kind of interesting what's going on or what's not going on either way. So we'll definitely talk about Bankroll a little bit. Peter, when you play, do you play for the tokens as well? Do you hold the tokens like on the anti-token and the there's a link in the description, by the way, for Tron Raider. But the thing that I liked about Tron Raider was it gave me some diversification on a different token to hold, because that's my thing. My thing long term is to hold the freaking tokens long term. I mean, a lot of people are like dumping them. But yeah, that was long term, Peter. I think that's probably the better strategy. I mean, so one of these gaming platforms are going to make it and make it well. One of them. The question is which one. Timothy, while you're here, I appreciate you stopping by. Let's look at Bankroll real quick. Where are they at? I've not even done a withdrawal yet on Bankroll. Tron Village ended. Those of you that were in Tron Village, I saw this last night. I saw it was close to ending, and this morning it looks like it's done, finished, kaput. So I haven't done a withdrawal yet. I'll probably need to do a withdrawal. If I withdraw, I'll run the risk of gambling if I don't freeze it. So I don't withdraw right away. So here's the thing. You know, it's down right now below 100 million. Supposedly, Luck was going to launch. The last I heard was once it got down to 100 million. But, you know, that doesn't make any sense. It was like it was going to launch, then it got delayed, then it was going to launch again, then it got delayed, then it was 24 hours out, then it got delayed. And then it was going to launch. The last I heard was that the bank teller dev guy was saying it was going to launch once it got under 100 million. But I thought that wouldn't make any sense. Why would you wait until the contract was losing momentum to try to get people back excited about it? That part's silly to me. I've said from the beginning, if you watch my channel, that by the way, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor as you're showing up. We've only got 7 people in the stream. Hit that like button. Let's get some people in here. Let's start having some conversation. Hit that like button if you don't mind, and let's get some people in here. Start having some conversation on this early morning. I know a lot of people got normal jobs or whatever, but not everybody can have the freedom to take time off or the time to procrastinate, which is honestly what I'm doing. But let's talk for a few minutes. So hit that like button, get some people in here. Let's get the YouTube algorithm alerting some people. So I don't understand why he would wait until the platform is draining to add bank luck. And the other thing is, you know, some of the YouTubers out there, you know, they get all excited. They're like, oh, it's going to work where if you lose a bet, 10% goes here, 5% goes there, and if you the person behind you, you know, if whatever they bet, you're going to make a percentage back, and blah 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 blah. And it sounds like there's like, you know, 12 different ways you can kind of earn off this thing. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And I mean, I've met people like that before in business, and it kind of sounds like this bank teller might be one of them, where he's really smart. And he's getting very enthusiastic, and he's trying to find ways so like there's no losers. But there's always going to be a loser. I mean, you're never going to be able to, it's a zero-sum game. You're never going to be able to spread the deposits around so much that somehow they end up profiting more than the original deposit. There's always going to be a loser. A number of things, I don't think that's going to happen for a very long time. It might happen. What's more likely to happen is not that TRX is going to get labeled as a security. What's more likely to happen is that some of these Tron tokens, like these casino tokens or whatnot, could be labeled as securities, which is part of the reason why it's important to get in now. Timothy, what is good or bad? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Fellas, I'm drinking a little bit of coffee this morning. It could be bad because the reality is the SEC could make it difficult for the little guy to be a part of it. And it could be bad because if the SEC starts creating things, I mean, it could be good, but there's more negative. There would be a lot of growing pains. It could keep the little guy out potentially. They could cause a lot of these companies to go out of business because they don't have the resources necessary to hire the lawyers to go through the red tape, blah, 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 to be registered as a proper security, that sort of thing. So it could be bad from that perspective, for sure. But what could also happen is if it's considered a security, it could be whatever they call it, like an unregistered security or whatever, where you have to have like a net worth of like $1 million or an income of like $200,000 a year to be able to invest. Whatever, there's a proper term for that. But my problem with that, and the reason I like decentralization, is that, in my opinion, just cuts out the little guy. I mean, we have a chance to be able to potentially earn enormous amounts of Tron with all of these Dapps still. And I think that's where some people are missing out. That's where some people are missing out. And that concerns me with anytime I hear people say, oh, we need regulation. Yeah, but regulation also kills opportunities for the little guys and kind of saves the opportunities for the big players, the real world whales, if you will. I've been called a whale on my channel because I have over 100,000 in Tron, but having $3,000 or $4,000 in Tron isn't a whale. Having $1 million, having $100,000 in Tron, that's a whale. IOST. My issue with IOST is that the market cap's just not big enough. See, part of the issue with Tron is because, look, Tron Bankroll, one of the most successful withdrawal Dapps, only has 5,000 people. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing. IOST would be even smaller. I've not seen that blockchain for what is best. Good to see you, by the way. I've not seen that at all. But I absolutely think Dapps could be a target. Just because you're able to earn a return. Just the fact that you can earn a return. And look, they even label it on PokerTron over here as dividends. I mean, I think that's asking for potential issues. And I absolutely think that look, those of us that are in this space now, I always say we're in the cryptocurrency revolution. This revolution is about battles, and not that, I'm talking about political battles. It's a battle of education. It's a battle of just alerting people, letting people know what's going on. That kind of battle, if you will. And part of the battle is, how it's going to shake down eventually with regulations and how that affects, us as the little investors. And really and truly what it either does to the companies, meaning can these companies exist in that environment, or is it too difficult for them to exist in that environment? And the other part of it is, does it prevent you and me, the little guy, from playing on? I don't think they're necessarily going to come for what are you going to do when they come for you? I don't think any of us have for the most part. I mean, I guess it's a possibility. Anything could happen. But I don't think most of us would be in any sort of a problem. Although, with that being said, they could make an example out of anybody. I mean, I was watching this documentary the other day about LimeWire. If you guys remember LimeWire. Hello, Louis. If you guys remember LimeWire, I watched this documentary on LimeWire, and I saw that they had some college kid who was downloading pirated movies from LimeWire, and they ended up suing this kid for some enormous amount of money of $280,000, and it's like, what is this poor guy going to do with $280,000? LimeWire themselves originally got sued for $7 trillion, which is retarded. They never paid out that much. LimeWire, man, don't you remember those days? I didn't necessarily know that it wasn't around. I didn't know. I guess it went all the way down to like 2010, LimeWire, man. Could you remember that? I don't think they sued his parents. They sued him, and I think he filed bankruptcy. He was like 19 or 20. I mean, could you imagine 19 or 20 years old? And it was all about, sorry, I didn't finish that thought process. the reason they sued him was really just about to making an example out of him. Something that I'm familiar with in marketing is the do not call list, which everybody, for whatever reason, violates. I don't even know how people get away with that. But AT&T was made an example out of that. It's like $50 per violation or something like that, or $50,000 or whatever it is per violation. AT&T got busted for violating the do not call list about a year after it came out, and they got, the government went after them for some crazy amount of money. I don't know, like $50 million or something stupid. And it was just about making an example out of them. I don't know that any of us are quote unquote big enough to make an example out of. I don't even know that we would have any issues with that. Lewis, now you're talking about, now you're talking. The divs are killing it in the past few days. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'll get back to PokerTron. I've been talking about it a lot. I think some people who've been around this space, we've been kind of burned because of the dumping that's happened. But PokerTron, if they stay on the right path, they may be onto something, and I'll show you here in a minute. I talked about it a little bit in my last video, but part of the reasons I wanted to go live is because my last video I really started kind of focusing some of the content. I realized that my channel is getting big enough. I was actually ranking. If you search video poker, I come up on the first term of YouTube for that. So I started looking at it, and I started thinking about, one of the reasons I created my channel was I wanted it to grow large enough that I could get traction under some general topics that are crypto related, so I could bring in and grow the crypto audience. I wanted to bring in more people and have a way to start introducing them into crypto, etc. And so my last channel, I kind of made it a little bit more targeted generically on the front end. I did a lot of explanation about, what Tron is and that sort of thing. I didn't go too deep because I didn't want to overwhelm people, and I didn't want to bore those of you that are used to watching it. But what I didn't do well enough, I think, on that video is talk about what's going on with PokerTron. And then when I thought about going live, I thought, yeah, this is a great time to talk about what's going on all these platforms. 888's divs were pretty good yesterday. They sucked today. I got crushed in this thing. 888, yesterday it was 100 and something, and so it ended up being about 50 a day. If I did the math on that properly yesterday, let me see, in which they look like they're going to shape up to be about 80 to 100 again. Yesterday, tokens were going for like 4 Tron. I don't know where they are right now. I can look on KiwiDex. I got it pulled up. But look, 4 times 3170.44. What's that? So, I don't know. Let's see. What's 100? It was more than 100, but we'll just do 100. See how bad that is. One, two. That's 0.7% a day. I mean, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. If you can get 0.7% a day, and it looks like they may be on track to do that. They're a little bit short right now, but they could very possibly hit 100 Tron payout again. So if you can pick up those tokens on KiwiDex for under 4, let's see what they're selling for now. Duh. I'm looking for Tron. No, not Tron. Sorry, 888. So they're 4.3 now. If you can pick them things up for 4 or less, I mean, that's probably good. I picked up a few yesterday for 4. I'm going to pick up some more. Gambling is not crypto, is it? I don't know what you mean by that. Blockchain for what is best. Gambling, I mean, crypto in general is so high risk that you could definitely consider gambling, especially with fluctuations in a price that don't make any sense. 888 anti-do, a good crypto in the general. If you want to talk about channel growth strategies, blockchain, then the introduction to the channel isn't any. It's the when you're doing a channel, you want to balance your content out. So you want to balance your content towards your audience. You want to balance your content to when you're building a channel. You got to niche it down really, really well. You got to find an audience that likes the content that you like to talk about when you niche it down really well. But then when you grow your channel, you start to broaden it a little bit. and you can rank better for certain terms. So like I'm saying, video poker gets a lot of searches on YouTube. And if I would have realized that I was able to rank for video poker, I would have done more generic conversations on my videos, and then I would have talked to them about Tron, because there's literally a solid reason for. I said I did a video the other day that was about an hour last week, and I talked about the future of Tron Dapps. And in that video, I talked about I didn't fully understand why. I thought it was going to be good for gaming platforms, like games to end up on blockchain, but I didn't fully understand the selling benefit. Like, why would, like Hypersnakes, for example, what is the benefit to create a game like Hypersnakes on the blockchain as opposed to Slither.io, outside of the quote-unquote gambling aspect of it, where you can wager and play? But what would be the benefit of creating like an RPG on the blockchain as opposed to just a typical server-based? I'm looking at the business side of it. But there is a legitimate, that I can already see, reason for someone who wants to play video poker to play, say, PokerTron, provided they get out all the glitches and stuff, and it looks like it's smoothed out this morning when I was playing. There's a legitimate reason to play on PokerTron, though, and that is because you don't have to deposit money anywhere. You don't have to send money nowhere and trust that there's a third party going to hold your money. Now, as long as the game's functioning, et cetera, as long as it's provably fair and all that sort of thing, which I'm told in Telegram that they're going to be getting a link up explaining that and showing that in the whole 9 yards. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. But as long as it does, then someone's a video poker enthusiast. It's worth learning about Tron just to play this platform. If you feel like, you have trouble. I mean, there are plenty of poker online casinos out there that will pay you, but they don't always pay you back fast. And sometimes there's delay. And there's whole forums dedicated to who's paying now, who's paying fast, what payment methods are accepting. I mean, that is a real issue. That's a real issue. Hey, Gandhi G, welcome. Sorry, backing up and seeing what you all were talking about. I have to look away when I'm talking, or otherwise I can't stay focused on my thought. Isn't it easier to work and just buy more Tron than stake a large amount, like 1 million? Isn't it easier to work and buy more Tron? Yes, but when you buy it, what are you going to do with it, Diesel Hound? You can stake it. Heck, speaking of staking, by the way, I did a video about freezing Tron, and everybody should be freezing it. Everybody, especially if you're playing these Dapps. I have a new rule for myself. If I don't have enough energy, I don't play. That you should not. I personally don't think you should play without having the energy and the bandwidth to play, because it burns Tron needlessly. The other thing is this. So I have Tron frozen. I have 133,000 frozen. I'm freezing with a super representative sesame seed. This guy pays out well. He pays out consistently. You get his seed token, which you can sell on Kiwi Dex, and the seed tokens sell for. You can sell them actually on Tron Trade too, I think. Actually, I don't see it on Kiwi Dex. You can sell them on Tron Trade. The only reason I brought up Kiwi Dex is because I thought everything would be here. But the seed token, I mean, you don't make it's 3.8 Tron. It's been as high as 4 Tron. I like it because I can just hold it and it doesn't get mixed in with everything else. But that's a solid token just to hold on to. And you can sell it as much as you want, but I'm going to keep holding those. That only ends up being like 3 or 4% a year, but why not stake it if you're doing absolutely nothing else with it? You should totally stake it if you're doing nothing else with it. Tron Bank or Bankroll, which is the future? Neither. They all are going to end. Gandhi G is right. Now is now, the future's not. Okay, this game. What game you don't have an edge on? Is it possible to trade PKT? No, it's not possible to trade PKT. Not yet. I'll get to that in a minute. Gambling is an issue. Yours. Okay, blah, blah. What's up, Dat King? What's up, Summit? Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that video. Where to trade PKT? You can't trade it yet at all. Hey, Shakara. Hello, Diesel. I didn't see it. If it's on DDEX, I didn't see it. It's yet I didn't see it. The one I'll talk about this right now. One of the things about Pokertron that's unbelievable is that I'm liking what they're doing from a dividend mining standpoint. Now, I've had a kind of a love-hate relationship with the whole mining aspect in general, and mainly because I totally underestimated how people would respond. I cannot, it just blows my mind how quick people, and I get it. It's kind of like the withdrawal Dapps, the ROI contracts. It's like FOMO 3D. Every time there's someone who loses, there's like people react the next time. And in this case, the reaction is try to get in faster, get out quicker, which like just obliterates the dividends in a lot of ways. Or at least people think it obliterates a dividend. I mean, Dootron, you can't find it on crypto dividend or nothing, but Dootron's dividends don't look great today, although they're picking up already. This morning, this was in a negative. But we got 349 Tron yesterday. The day before that was just over, no, was only about 60. So it's averaging out to be pretty well. I've got 31,000. I mean, if you do the math on that, I'm not going to, well, yesterday when I was doing the math, it was about 0.8% a day for Dootron. Earning 0.8% interest a day is ridiculous. I mean, if it ends up settling down to 0.2, 0.3, we'll have to wait and see where it kind of settles at. But that's a good long-term return. There's nowhere else in crypto, there's nowhere else in the world that you can, make that kind of return. And this price is kind of settled. I would, hindsight's 2020. What I would have done in hindsight on all these platforms is I would not have done anything but play for entertainment for the first week or two. And then I would have bought in and mined slowly. It doesn't matter about the early stages of mining necessarily. It doesn't matter as much. Let's see if the token gets listed. Let's see where the token price settles a little bit, and then play a little, bet mine a little, or accumulate a little. I like to do both if the pricing is similar. So play a little, bet mine a little, and start accumulating and do it slowly, like I'm doing with 888. I'm gonna be picking up 888 slowly. I got plenty of Dootron now, so I'm not planning to buy any more of that. I'm wanting to start getting about 100 Tron or so a day from each of these platforms, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. And as long as they have, if they're sustainable, I go to crypto dividends and just kind of look. Right now, I'm going to show you a sleeper right now. Nobody's talking about it. Tron Vegas is a freaking sleeper. If you pick that thing up for 1.5 Tron, it's doing a 0.7% dividend, 0.5%. Totally probably because of game selection, because the graphics aren't amazing, but they got more games than everybody else. I do not have nearly enough of these. I was over there messing around with the roulette. I think I got like 70 tokens. I'm not going to focus on it just yet, but because I want to get some more 888 first. But Tron Vegas might be a sleeper. I mean, where can you get a 0.7, 0.5% return? Where? Let me look at what you guys are talking about. Oh, wake up. Let me back up to Pokertron real quick. Pokertron right now, what they're doing a couple things. They have, first of all, they have a blacklist function which is supposed to prevent, I don't know how that works because it didn't work for Tron Crush. They tried it when they brought out the TCT, but it was supposed to somehow prevent people from putting it on exchanges. And I don't know if it prevents it from going on exchanges, or I read in the Telegram that it prevents people from being able to freeze it and use it on the platform. I don't know which. I've not really messed with either one of them. I mean, if it doesn't show up on a reasonable exchange, I get nervous about buying it. I wouldn't buy a large amount. I would try to freeze it and make certain I could earn dividends. Some of you may be more familiar with that than I am. But Pokertron, this thing is cheap to mine. Like cheap to mine. First of all, you can't auto bet it. Not really. I mean, I guess you could do the macro recording thing, but you can't really auto bet it. And a 10-bet wager is 0.2 PKT. 50-bet wager is 1 PKT, not 6,000 like ante or what's 888 dividend. You got to wager 990 TRX. That makes the token really pricey to mine. Pokertron's keeps, I mean, literally, if there's a 2% edge, it's about 1 Tron right now per PKT. 1 Tron per PKT. Which in and of itself doesn't say a whole lot, But if you look at the dividends right now, and arguably this isn't skyrocketing like some of the platforms have done, although it's growing pretty well. But if you look at the dividends right now, they're over 3 Tron per PKT, which means if each PKT is at a value of roughly 1 Tron, that's a 300% return right now as it stands. Right now. If anything, people would be buying up the PKT tokens because it's a 300% daily dividend in theory at this moment. In theory. I say daily because that's the only way to think about it. They're not paying out daily right now. That's another thing. They're going to be paying out after every mining round, which before, had I not had any experience in this space, I would have thought that sucked. But now realizing that people like to try to dump after the mining rounds, it's a much longer period to collect dividends before the dump. But my question is, well, how low are they going to try to dump it? I mean, because if they drop it down to like 0.001 Tron, I mean, heck, just buy them up. Like, if it still costs, I mean, the play action would have to dry up so much more than we've seen on almost any other platform that's been viable so far. Like, literally, to get a 0.5% daily return, a 0.5% return a day, heck, a 1% return a day, they would have to lose 299% of current playing action. And that could happen, I guess. I mean, that truly could happen. Now, arguably, we're going to get diluted. I get it. Before someone says that, you may have already said it in the comments. I'm not looking at the comments. You're going to get diluted. I get it. But this is still, because it's so cheap to mine the token, this is still by far the cheapest I've ever seen the token, period, on a platform. Let me see what you guys are saying. Ethos, I have if you go look at my playlist, I have an entire playlist on Pokertron on my channel that talks about, it covers Pokertron, the platform a little bit. It also covers the basics of how to play. And there's even a video that I cover what's considered, the best strategy to play. Shakar, welcome to a decentralized world about the exchanges listing without permission. Do tokens are limited. They definitely could go up. How much TRX did I lose? A lot. I was between 3,000 or 4,000 when I got started. I'm still at 3,000 or 4,000. But I went up. I went up a lot and lost a lot as well. I got crushed on 888 for sure. Cross, I did see the announcement for the new Do game. I don't know why you felt like it killed their platform. I guess I didn't see the announcement. I just skimmed the top of it and saw the new game was coming out. And I did see they were coming out with a new token. I wasn't sure what that was all about ultimately. So I guess we'll have to see where that goes long term. What's my strategy? This guy likes to waste crypto a lot. Well, I haven't wasted but so much. I mean, I literally, blockchain for what is best knows. I told him I was between $3,000 or $4,000 when I got into Tron. I still have between $3,000 or $4,000 with the Tron, and I'm earning interest. It's not a 2% house edge. You have to hit a royal flush. LOL. That is a 2% house edge, Canali. That's how math works. That's how that works. If you play the game long enough and you hit, then it's actually, this is it. I don't know. It depends. It's not a 2% house edge. The reality is this pay table, if they simulate properly on how they generate the random hashes, if they properly simulate a 52 card deck with the proper combinations, like there's, in a 5 card deck, for example, there's 2.5 million possible combinations of hands. If they properly follow that simulation, and not every video poker machine does, by the way. In Las Vegas, by law, they have to. But outside of Las Vegas, in some other states where they have video poker machines, they have to just use a typical RNG, random number generator. That makes it no better than a slot machine. And you actually don't know what the payout is on a slot machine at all. But if they are creating this, and that was my question. I actually asked that question in Telegram. And I'm told there's going to be more details coming out related to provably fair and how they're doing that in the white paper, blah, blah, blah. But if they bring all that out and they are properly simulating, if there's a way that they're properly simulating a 52 card deck, then this pay table shows that there's probably a 2% or less return. That 2% house edge is over the long run. Anybody can be a short-term winner. I mean, most people that are gamblers, it blows my mind when you have conversations, you're like, it's only like a 1% house edge. That means you're only going to lose $1 out of every 100 wagered. And they're like, what? They feel like they've lost or won more than that because they're always focusing on shorter time periods. But over the life of the game, but it's important to understand anytime you're gambling, it can be irrational for a long time. There's a story of a craps player. My brother told me this story. I went and looked it up, but I cannot remember the guy's name. But there was a craps player that went on like a 7-year heater. Like he won millions upon millions upon millions in a 7-year time period playing craps. And he lost it all within about 18 months eventually because it obviously went the other way around on him, and he lost it all. But he literally won. And, when that happens, people think they can't lose, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if you're playing proper craps strategy, craps can have a 0.5% house edge. That's not a very big house edge. That can go in your favor for a while. But when it turns, it can turn. So when you're playing video poker, yes, that includes royal flushes, et cetera. I'm definitely not the Bitcoin fund manager. Yeah, that's kind of weird, Cross, about the do and the shoot. That makes no sense to me at all. WB, yeah, I actually mentioned that in the video. They've changed that. They've updated that this morning. It's supposed to be updated. I haven't had problems playing this morning. What was happening is cards were changing. That actually happened in one of my videos. It was so funny. One of my commenters, I'm telling you, YouTube commenters are the best. One of my commenters were like, did you see his cards? They changed at 6. And I'm like, of course you saw it. I mean, were you blind? I didn't take it out of the video. But I even talked about it in a follow-up video. But what was happening yesterday is like the cards would suddenly glitch or change. The reality is the cards didn't actually change, or did they? The hash didn't change. The outcome wasn't this. This also happened on Tron Crush. It's a horrible user experience, by the way. But what ended up, it has something to do with the confirmations, and the confirmations were going too fast. The reason the reason they had it set up to go fast is because they wanted the game to move faster. If you notice this morning, it moves a bit slower. It moves a bit slower because they increased the confirmations that were required in order for the, let's see if it actually even moving slower now. Oh, look at that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Straight. The hashes are moving a lot slower, and the reason they do that is because it prevents the cards from glitching. The other thing that even happened, it was weird. The cards would turn over, and then they would turn back over on you. It was like, what? Or you'd, like that, you'd win, it'd flip over, then it'd flip back, and then it'd flip back over. And in Telegram, they talked about it had something to do with the hash rate. Absolutely not, Cross. Are you scared that you'll get addicted to PokerTron and get wrecked since you used to play poker heavily? No, listen, I've gambled my whole life. It's never have I been to the point I've ever had crazy, heavy, massive losses. I mean, when I go to a casino, I go in like if I'm going in for the evening, I'll go in with a couple $100. Like literally, that's it. I've had losses in the thousands that were planned. For example, I'm going to a Hard Rock casino next year. My goal is to go in with a $5,000 bankroll, and it's $1,000 a day, and I'm going to be playing craps, and that's the plan. And the great thing about that, what happens is when I go in with a $5,000 bankroll to play like that, if I lose $3,000, then I come out feeling like, oh wow, I didn't have to spend $5,000, I only spent $3,000. It's almost like a win because I go in with a budget, a daily gaming budget, and it's daily. So if I go in and I lose that $1,000, in an hour or two, then I'm done for the day. It just takes discipline. I've never been a big player online outside of poker online, multiplayer poker, and in an entire year, I lost like $1,000 or $1,500. Like I made 1 or 2 major deposits for the entire year, which is what I'm talking about. By the way, I'll tell you a story about that. This is exactly where the online gaming platforms, it's very fascinating that you don't have to make a deposit and you can keep your Tron in your wallet and it interacts with a smart contract and that sort of stuff. Because it's now these laws may have changed. I haven't actually played poker outside of like $25 or whatever they'll occasionally send me. I actually haven't made a deposit on a poker website in years. But when like years being like 4 or 5 years. But when I was last playing, at the point in time, it was not illegal to deposit on a poker website, but it was illegal for the banks to facilitate a transaction. So go figure that out. Before Black Friday, some of you who've ever had any poker experience know what Black Friday is, but basically the U.S. government confiscated Full Tilt Poker and Poker Stars, allowed U.S. players to play. They were the biggest poker rooms. And the U.S. government basically came in and again, there's no law against the player. And there's a reason for that, by the way. There's a reason there's not a law against a player playing. It's just not a popular law to take away somebody's freedom, but they just make it difficult for you to play. You can still play online. There's places like Bovada and stuff you can still play poker. There's just not a lot of people playing anymore, not like used to. At one point, you could log on to Poker Stars and there'd be 100,000, 200,000+ players playing simultaneously. At the same time on the website. But one of the last deposits that I made to Full Tilt, it was when I first started playing on Full Tilt, you could just use your debit card and just deposit $100 and you were good to go. One of the last deposits I ever made, I deposited $1,000 and I had to send it via Western Union and they gave me an individual's name in the Philippines. Now, the only reason I even felt like okay doing that is because other people that I trusted in the poker forums had done it. They were like, yep, that's how it works with Poker Stars. That's how you use the Western Union. You'll have money in your account within, a few minutes or whatever. And I thought, that's weird. And, and I was a bit nervous. If it hadn't been people that I already trusted, like there's people I trust in this space, you kind of get to know people, right? And so if it hadn't been someone that I trusted, then I probably wouldn't have done it. But I thought, okay, here goes. I told my wife, I was like, so I'm about to wire $100,000 to some guy in the Philippines. She was like, okay. But I did. And in 30 minutes, I went home and I logged into my Full Tilt Poker account. There it was, my $1,000 logged in. I play on it. And I did play on it. The challenge, though, is that's a lot of friction. Like, people get nervous about that. And then do they pay? And then when Full Tilt did finally get shut down, come to find out, they were doing what the banking system does. And some of you don't even know about this. But if everybody went right now to try to withdraw their money from a bank, your money's not there. You could not withdraw all of it if everyone in your town went to the bank and tried to withdraw it. It doesn't exist anywhere in the world. Like, all of the dollars are not there. There's something called fractional reserve banking. Well, that's perfectly legal according to the government to do that. But it's not illegal. It's not legal for a business to do that. Well, it's not legal in the U.S. for the business to do that. Full Tilt Poker was operating like that. They knew that there had never been a report that someone had not tried to make a withdrawal and had not gotten their withdrawal until they shut down the website, and then they were forced to try to cash out all the players, and they couldn't cash out all the players. They were in theory, they were supposed to have segregated accounts where they had operating expenses and player accounts, but they basically kept a large enough balance that they knew they were well within inside their limits to make player deposits when they needed to. Not saying that's right or wrong, but you don't have to worry about that when you never have to send someone your money. When your Tron is left in your Tron Link wallet, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about that at all. Shakara, you get it, man. You get it. What stakes did you play at? Because I was like a micro stakes player. I was playing like mostly 5 and 10 cents, which was what, $10 tables? And I would usually I did try to 8 table some, but I mostly did like 4 to 6 tables. Someone just said they tried to bet on poker Tron and it didn't work for them. Look at that. I just got 2 pair. That was a glitch, absolutely. Unless I forgot to play a while ago. Let's see what happens. Hold. Yesterday I was recording a video and I didn't like the video, so I ended up deleting it, but it kind of sucked. See, they always say you win. That is a win, but it's just a 1x win. It's not a big deal. If you guys know my strategy, I like to martingale it a little bit. But that one, that's much higher risk. It seems to be playing. Don Snow says it's not working for me. You're playing $100 tables, Shot Car. Good job. Were you a net positive player? Like, were you a winner? I mean, $100 tables. Guys, listen. I actually took some poker coaching from a guy who was playing $50 tables, which is $25.50. The guy was knocking down $5 to $8 grand a month, and of course, he was playing it like it was a job. For 10 years, Shot Car. Good job. 10 years played for a living. Good job. When do I think the divs at 888 will go up? I don't know that they need to go up. Go up to what? Shakar, where do you live? Because you said it sucked when the U.S. market left. I'm going to martingale it up a little bit. What do you want the divs to go up to? I think I just talked about how they were paying out about 0.4, 0.5%. What do you want them to go up to? Ireland. Yeah. Is there any action on Stars or any of those websites now? What do you mean you wanted to go up to 4,000 to 5,000 Tron? The divs. What do you mean you want to? I mean, there's got to be a percent. What kind of daily percent do you want to see the divs, or how much are you looking? I mean, when you say you wanted to go up to 4,000 to 5,000 Tron, that's based off how much you hold. But what do you want to see the divs to go up to? Currently getting wrecked. Yeah, I find that I played on a little bit on. I always have to watch to make certain I don't have 4 cards to a flush. 4 cards to a flush is a pretty strong hand, and you gotta watch it. Yesterday, I accidentally discarded that. But 4 cards to a flush, I mean, you got 1 card to go. You basically got a 1 in 4 shot of getting a 6x win. So you don't ever want to accidentally let that go. Yeah, I played on Bovada a while back, and when I played, it was a bit brutal. There you go. There. See, that's when that works in your favor. That little martingale strategy. Yeah, Don, I talked about Bankroll earlier. I don't know that it's gonna. I don't know if Bankluck. I mean, I think they're waiting too long to pull out Bankluck. They should have already pulled that out. And here's the thing, it's only got 5,000 members. Talk about more people playing. See that someone talked about IOST at the beginning of this. Someone talked about iOS. I drew a full house the other night, Cross. That's what I was going to say. I was making a freaking video, and I drew a full house. I was like, good Lord. I hear a lot of people talk about, hey, I'm looking for more people to play, blah, blah, blah. Someone once said, Bankroll is going to grow. There's going to be 10,000 people in this thing. There's going to be 20,000 people in this thing. And I was like, no, there's not. There's not been even remotely close to that many. I mean, arguably the person who talks about Tron Dapps the most prolifically on his channel on YouTube is Trevon James. He only has like 10, 11, 12,000 subscribers. There's only so many people in this space. We are a niche of a sub-niche right now. Cryptocurrency is already a niche market. And then when you talk about Tron, that's down. Now you're down in the altcoin space, and you're a part of the altcoins. And now when you talk about Tron Dapps, now you've niched yourself down even further. And if you talk about a Tron gambling Dapp, that's even a smaller niche. So I mean, that's only going to be so big. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, Shakara. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We're talking about the number of subscribers that follow his Tron channel. And look, Bankroll, arguably the biggest withdrawal Dapp next to, what's the other one, Tron Bank. But still, I don't know if Tron Bank shows how many. I don't follow that one. But Bankroll, definitely one of the biggest, without question, one of the biggest. 489 people. 4,891 people, sorry. Tron Village just ended. Tron Village they were one of the biggest. before Bankroll. And let's see if they did show numbers, I think. 3,000. It's nothing. I mean, we're such a small subcategory. What is the website to Tron Bank? I'll look at it. Hang on. It doesn't tell me how many people are in here though, does it? No. So 200 million Tron is useless to me. I mean, this has 150 million. So arguably, you're talking about comparable sizes. Even if you increase this number by, hang on, let me make sure I'm saying that right. 228 million. So let's just say you increase this number by 30% to reach the same goal. That's still, you're still only you're not even talking about 6 million people. I mean, I'm sorry, you're not even talking about 6,000 people. I mean, 6,000 people. I mean, I don't think most people in this space realize how cutting edge and how early we are in this thing. Like, early, for sure. Sorry, I'm just looking to make sure I haven't missed any comments. So now here's what the thing is long term, they've got to continue. And wait a minute, because I want to make this point again, because we have such small amounts of people, 5,000, let's just optimistically say we got 10,000 players. I mean, 10,000 players still is nothing. And I don't think, I'm willing to bet there's more people in the ROI Dapps than the actual games, because the ROI Dapps they give the illusion of being a little more secure. And they almost feel like you're not gambling, even though you obviously are, because you're getting that daily payout. So they almost feel like you're not gambling. And until they end, the payouts are nice. But when it comes to like Dootron and 888, oh, it's back negative again. The reason, so you see a lot of movements. Tron Vegas is another one. Tron Vegas divs vary a lot. Dootron divs vary a lot. 888 divs vary quite a bit. TronBet divs vary quite a bit. I think it's part of that is because there's not enough people. I think if there's 10,000 players playing, we're just using round numbers. I mean, how many of them are potential whales that are willing to drop $1,000 on a Tron Dapp? I mean, how many are willing to do that? There's not, but so many. So I think when you see the divs move a lot, the other day I was watching, the divs were positive by like 1 million. A few hours later, I go in and look on TronBet, and it's like they were negative by like 2 million. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. And that was just somebody betting big, which is a good thing that the divs move that much. People sometimes don't realize that. It just means that there are people giving a lot of action. So that's good. That's absolutely good. But I don't, and I'm not saying it's one whale, but I don't think it's a ton. Like it's not thousands. It's probably not hundreds. Yeah, Don Snow, good job. Good job cashing out. You got it. On Dapp Radar, 6K users. Dapp Radar would be a good thing to look at. I didn't think about that. That's awesome, actually. Is it dappradar.io? I don't even remember. Oh, let's see. .com. This is going to be awesome. And sort by users. So admittedly, a lot of people like to say, oh, we're number one on Dapp Radar, but they're talking about number one by balance or volume. But what's always interesting is when you can look at users. TronBank, 6.7, the most. This EOS Dapp, 6.6. Another EOS Dapp, 6.65. Tron Vegas. Tron Vegas might be a sleeper. Like, people ain't paying attention to Tron Vegas. I'm telling you, Tron Vegas might be a sleeper. I mean, that thing's got 3.2 thousand users. This is in a 24-hour period. Bankroll 3.2, which means out of the 5,000 people, think about that for a moment, in a 24-hour period, out of the 5,000 people, almost 48, what are we at, 49, 48, 4,800. Out of 4,800 people, more than 20% of them did not even do a withdrawal yesterday, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So we are in a niche of a niche market. For sure, Tron bet, 2.7 thousand people. Now, that's players though. I mean, that's players. So as long as people are actually playing it, and the great thing about this, these are players at this point because the divs aren't great enough to mine strongly. So these are absolutely players. So that is a good thing. But before long, one day, hopefully we'll see 20,000 players. My strategy, where's it coming out with Tron bet? Where was that at? I didn't see that. You said they've been saying that for a while. You know that, right? So I would love to see that though. Tron bet coming out with PvP poker. That would be interesting. I don't think it's going to do as well as people think it will do, but I think it's a new thing in the space. It's going to create some excitement, and it's all about enthusiasm, and I think that's good. Yes, custom. I'm using Cryptotab Browser right now. I use it every day of my life. I actually have stopped withdrawing for now, and I'm just letting my little crypto stack up over here. 700,000 Satoshis. I actually stopped talking about it. I got a group. We were building a promotional platform for Cryptotab, and this Tron Dapps just tweaked my brain, and I've been stuck in Tron Dapp land forever. But yeah, I still use the Cryptotab browser. No, I missed it, Cross. I didn't see that. Okay, two things I want to talk about. The best game. I want to talk about the best game and my strategy. So my strategy right now is I look at crypto dividends, I look at what's doing well, and I'm just trying to accumulate tokens in the things that still have some volume. I expect there'll be days that they'll have crappy volume. This is crappy volume, but we had a good day yesterday. So as players migrate, and what happens oftentimes with gamblers is when you take a big loss, you take a day off. I mean, that's normal too. So you don't never know who was responsible. I can tell you that I know for a fact that I have personally moved the mark when I was playing Dootron. I literally saw divs change when I stopped playing. So I know I moved the needle on Dootron. I mean, I got 30,000 tokens. I was mining this like a fiend, playing it. And same thing with, in fact, where are we at on the DApp radar? See if it shows it. Oh, Crypto Dividends shows it. This Royal Online Vegas Tron, I am absolutely partially responsible for this figure right here. Because this weekend I was playing it like crazy. If you saw my video, I lost 120,000 Tron playing it. I won 120,000, then I ended up losing 120,000 playing the same game. That means a bunch of divs were created. I actually lost, I lost 140 something thousand Tron is what I lost. The good news for me, thank God, that was smart, is I froze a whole bunch of Tron. Like when I won 120, I actually had almost, with everything that I had from referrals and everything, I had, I don't know, 180 or 90,000 Tron in my wallet. At the time, I only had 70-something thousand Tron, maybe it was 78,000 Tron frozen. So I went and froze some more Tron. And I'm working on I'm going to start freezing Tron every day. But I froze some more Tron. And when I froze that Tron, that was a good thing. Then I ended up losing playing this game, which is freaking awesome. The game is awesome. And I'll get to that in a minute. But I'll get to what I like to see in platforms in a minute. But I'm currently looking at the dividends, and I'm just looking to accumulate tokens. And I'll buy them or bet mine, whatever makes sense. I'll play the games. Like I was messing around with Tron Vegas. I only have like, I think 70 tokens on Tron Vegas. But I was messing around with their roulette, just kind of seeing how it plays. It looks very interesting. It looks like they've got, you can see they've had some up volume and some down volume. But that looks pretty consistent. I'm trying to see if I'm overlooking it, if there's other platforms where the volume looks like. By the way, this is clearly what ROI contract looks like, withdrawals, deposits, withdrawals, deposits. So Tron bet's been up. If anyone following the dividends realizes that, so that's good. Let's see what else. Tron Village is done. Look at that. crashed. That's what this is. A typical contract that every single typical graph that every single withdrawal contract will make. Okay, I'm not seeing 888. Wow, look at 888. That's weird that they would be that consistent. But anything on crypto dividends that is putting up consistent dividends, like Tron Vegas, for example, 888. I'm going to be picking up Tron Bet 0.3%. If I can hold on to that long term, I'll pick it up because I think this space has room to grow. I think it potentially has a lot of room to grow. So I want to pick up those. And right now I just have an arbitrary number. Hey, let's try to earn 100 TRX a day from each platform. That's just an arbitrary number. What's really more important to me is I see the percentage being, consistent above 2.2%, is what I want to see personally. And then just keep slowly, picking up tokens, holding them. And the long-term hope is that one of these platforms really does well and there's several things that can happen. TRX price can go up. The overall Bitcoin cryptocurrency market can go up, which means that TRX price would go up. Greater awareness, Tron could grow in popularity. Greater awareness of the Dapps space, more players come in. All those things can happen. We're talking over the next 6 months to 6 years. And these could potentially, they're obviously high risk. Heck, all these businesses could go out of business in the next year. But potentially, there could be huge returns if any of them make it. And I believe that there's a real possibility that some of them can make it. And the other thing that can happen on the negative side is, Tron, I think, has pushed like Ethereum. Tron has pushed EOS. Tron has really pushed a lot of cryptocurrencies to see what's possible. And what can happen, ultimately, is they can... EOS could up their game. Maybe by some miracle, Ethereum would get their crap figured out. And if that would happen, then I think those platforms could give Tron a run for the money or maybe do even better potentially down the road. I'm not saying it's going to happen or will or won't. I'm just saying that's a possibility when you're in this space and you're investing in Tron. You have to be aware of that. So any of that stuff can happen, even if they have successful businesses, but Tron itself becomes a inferior product in the long run. Yeah, Tron, I like the idea of passive income for sure. Justin, I think there's a link for Cryptotab down in the all my links for everything I'm talking about. If there's an affiliate link or a referral link, it's down in the description of the video. I'm just looking at the top, just looking back at what you guys have been talking about. And then I'll talk about what I think the gaming side of these dApps need to do in the future. Do I have a day job? Yes, I have a day job. I have my own business. Tron Roulette is a good dApp. No tokens, though. I've not played that. Here's the thing. And I hate to say this because I like the idea of being able to invest into the quote-unquote business side of it, the casino side, the tokens. I like the idea of earning passive income from these platforms, games potentially, especially because I think there's room to grow. There's a lot of upside potential. High risk, but there's a lot of upside potential. So I like that, but none of these platforms need to have mining to do well. None of them. First and foremost, all of them, and to do well long term, have to focus on player experience, and players have to want to play irregardless of any ability to own tokens and earn dividends. And if they master that, then whether they have a token or not doesn't matter. Now, the token does do good things for creating awareness and bringing a flood of traffic to the platform. And arguably, that's why 888 and TronBet have consistent players, because it started with mining. You could make that case for sure. But is it an absolute requirement? I don't think so at all. It's interesting to hear you say that, Don Snow, because I've been wondering a lot about EOS. I mean, a lot. Tron Raiders have been a sleeper. I don't know that it's been a sleeper at all, but it's better than I thought it was going to be. I've not messed with Igor. I don't know a whole lot about EOS platforms, period. I haven't messed with it. That's awesome, Don Snow. So let's take a look at that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please smash that like button. Let's continue this conversation for a little bit longer. Let's create the awareness. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. Well, let's take a look at, is the Ruby on? It's not on here, is it? No, it's probably on Kiwi. Let's take a look. I love Hey Kiwi. So it's down by quite a bit. It's down to 32. It's down by a lot. With that being said, it's held its price better than I thought it would. I always make sure, by the way, that when I log in that I have my referral for whoever the referrer is. And by the way, my rule of thumb with referrals, I never ever sign up to all the people who try to send me referral links through YouTube. I mean, it's relentless, and I just don't do it. There's no value for me for that. I want to feel like I at least am supporting someone or something that's providing some sort of value. So like if typically it's other YouTubers, and what happens is and I don't even have to like their content. Like there's YouTubers out there, we all have preferences, right? Like nothing against them, but their channel doesn't appeal to me that much. But then like probably a lot of people who come across my channel. But at the same time, if I see someone's YouTube channel or whatever, typically the first person who I like, same thing with Pokertron. I don't even remember who, I think I know, but I'm not exactly sure if I know whose affiliate link I signed up for Pokertron. But it was the first video I saw talking about it. I signed up, and every time I log in, I double check to make sure that they're getting credit for my play or whatever I do. But claim that star, I played that earlier. I was absolutely shocked at how that they paid a dividend. I totally thought that April 1st thing was just going to be a total like troll. Totally thought it was, and it wasn't. And I obviously missed out because I didn't mine it. But the dividends. Okay, so that's. What is a Ruby? Oh, that's what is a Ruby? Dividends. So the dividends are lower today than they've been the past couple of days. So it'll be interesting to see where they finish up at. Hopefully we'll make it at least 1 Tron per Ruby. But that's, okay, so could do some comparison. 1 TRX per Ruby, and Rubies currently cost 34 Tron. That's still a good return, by the way. I mean, that's better than 2% a day. That's still a pretty good return if it hits 34 TRX per Ruby. And you're buying rubies at current prices. I didn't buy mine. I bet mined them. But if you bought them, then if you bought them at current prices, that's still a pretty good return. Like if you, it looks like it could be over 2% today. And again, that's low compared to where it's been. I mean, I think the first payout that I got, I think it was 3 TRX per ruby, and then rubies were valued at about 60 TRX, I think, on the exchanges. So that was still a pretty good return. I mean, that was still a great return. What was that? Close to 6% return for those. But it's been going down. It'll be interesting to see what happens. They did come out with Bash, which the timing was good for that. It picked it up yesterday. The mechanics of both these games are not unique at all. It's the graphics and the user interface that make them unique and make them a little more fun to play. Like if you go to TronBet, I mean, no offense to TronBet, but their graphics are horrible for their games. Their actual games themselves are just not that great. TronBet's strength is a social aspect. They're the only ones that have that social aspect. That's their strength. But Tron Raiders, it's just a typical Moon game, but it's graphically more fun. Then they got this little star bonus here, which is a little addition, which is kind of cool. My strategy, by the way, for Tron Raider, if you don't know, I'll show you. I do 3. Start at the min bet. And I martingale from 3. That's just my strategy. Obviously, it's going to lose money in the long run, but I've had some good winnings on it too, which is awesome. Can we get to 3? Come on. We're on camera, and you didn't do it. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Come on. Shakar, I did try Gaykek, and Gaykek might be legit. It might be legit, but it's binary options. The user experience for binary options is never good. Binary options, I'm slightly familiar with that business model. It's an extremely lucrative business model. But the player lifespan is not that long because it's a 50-50 bet that you never can win more than 95% on your 50-50 bet, basically. It's a sizable house edge, so to speak. But I looked at it because I know that they can create lucrative business models. And I tried it, and it was one of those things where the UI wasn't matching up. I couldn't figure out if I was doing it exactly right or wrong. I kept changing my bet. I literally lost 6 bets in a row, and I thought, I don't get it. I'm not 100% certain it's working properly, and I'm not just even... So I just left it alone. I sold my little Gaycake tokens. You know, they let you like exchange them for Tron. I didn't freeze them. I just exchanged them and left, and I've not been back to it. I don't think it's going to create a long-term customer experience, potentially, personally. That's just me personally. I may be wrong on that. Am I going to hit 3? Am I going to hit 3? Always remember, on my channel, I reserve the right to be wrong 100% of the time about 100% of everything. So it's just all casual observations about being in this space. Yay, I got it. That was a good win. Now let's get out of here. Bash is pretty much a dice game, but again, it's graphically fun. You can choose your odds of winning. His weapon changes the better the odds of your winning. Here we'll play just a bat. Oh, they've lowered the price. You can play for 50 now. Used to you can only play for 100, I think. Let's see if I can play for 10. Nope. Minimum is 50. And then it looks like a little 2D battle, like any video game you played as a kid, way back when video games weren't as awesome as they are today. That's just Bash. Have you tried? Okay. Tron Raider's making you want to quit your job? You must be doing well on it. Be careful, that knife cuts the other way. I have links to Tron Raider and everything in the description as well. 80 Ruby gave you 200 Tron yesterday, yeah. Oh, gotcha, because you're flipping the rubies. Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, there's always gambling strategies, but at the end of the day, you can never outrun a house edge. That's really the bottom line. So here, I'll wrap up with this a little bit. By the way, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, by all means, please hit that subscribe button. If you're new to my channel, and I appreciate you being here. And it's fun to talk about this stuff. Again, I'm no expert. I like to talk about it. I find it exciting. I'm enthusiastic about the future of cryptocurrency and where this place is going. And I really some of you have heard this, I was hesitant to like Tron. I did not like Tron. I was a Bitcoin guy and an Ethereum guy, and I did not like Tron. But the first time that I experienced Tron, having played Dapps like Bankroll in the past, where it takes forever, like it literally can take 30 to 45 seconds for an action to take place. And then to be able to play something where you can like come in here and you can like flip cards, and it can happen in faster than 30 seconds. And this is even slow for Tron, but it can happen relatively fast. And it was like, wow. Oh, look at this. I already got 2 pair. Give me a full house. Why not? Why don't you? And it was like, this can happen really fast. Then this is a game changer in the Dapp. Look at that. I got a full house on camera. That's super awesome. The odds of that happening are very slim. I'm sorry, the odds. The player experience for something like Bankroll is very slim, very bad. It can take like 30 seconds or more to get the waiting on the blockchain. It's super slow. So when I played Tron, I'm like, wow, this is fast. The first thing I really played it on, like really played it on, was 888. I was bet mining 888. And I'm over here and I'm watching 888 and I'm like, okay, you know, doing these 96% chance to win things. And I'm like, all right, in fact, let me do my normal gamble it up. What is that? If I'm going to be on camera talking about a gambling platform, and I'm going to talk more about gambling on some of these platforms and create videos, just teaching to play the basics and stuff like that of some of these games, because really and truly they have to be able to serve a player base that wants to actually play, not just mine it in the long run. But when I saw this platform and I'm like, wow, this really moves fast. Oh, crap. Reject that. Sorry, I don't have that. No, don't do that. This has to be, refresh. I have to make sure I got a 2-to-1 payout. My multiplier has to be at least 2. Right there. That's just me. So when I saw how fast the transactions occurred, and it was like, wow. And it was 888 the first time. That was a game changer for me. And then I started seeing these other dApps come out, and they were all, relatively fast. And I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. I mean, this is pretty, and if you've ever played Ethereal, this is mega fast. Like Ethereal is very, very long. I'll stop. Ethereal takes a very long time. So it's no fun at all. It's just not any fun at all. So when I saw what these dApps could do, it was hard not to like Tron. Now, long term, Tron I want to talk about this for a moment. One of the things that I think they have to do is my favorite games to play based sheerly off of user experience. Sheerly off of user experience is Dootron, Poker Hero, and it's because they're fun to play. Although most all of them have crappy music. It's fun to play. Dootron, sorry, we'll close that out. Poker Hero, and then Tron Raider's kind of fun for a moon game. I've never liked moon games, but Tron Raider's kind of fun for that. And Pokertron, video poker. Like, and to be honest, my favorite in the order of most fun, I find this to be the most fun. I find Dootron to be second most fun. Pokertron third. That's just my personal preference. But they have to be fun games. They have to be good user experiences. People want to be able to play them. Now, Pokertron's got to fix their website and continue to fix their glitches, but it's got to continue to be fun for the player. And as long as they'll ultimately attract players and people want to keep playing, then I think in the long run, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Now, and this is just currently. Future development says everything. I'm shocked that TronBet has not developed faster. I mean, they made so much Tron when they first came out. And they ended up doing a Tesla giveaway. And they came out with a very subpar game that was basically a scratch-off lottery ticket to win. And that was it. And it attracted attention, but I don't know that they got a good return on their investment on that promotion. I think that, and maybe they know this now, but hindsight, like they probably should have hired some developers and created better games. But none of us know what the future holds for these dApps, so we have to continue to see and watch. Do they make good decisions? Dootron's coming out with their game Shoot. They're coming out with a new token. Some people think this is a good idea. Some people think it's a bad idea. Ultimately, we just have to see how their business models play out. But I think as long as they develop with the player in mind, not the miner, as long as they continue to develop with the player in mind, then I think ultimately that's going to be great for Tron, great for the dApp space, great for the business, great for anyone who's holding the tokens as a miner, and great for the players. I unfreeze my Tron on bandwidth 2 days ago, but still showing unfreeze on 6. I don't know what that means, Yogesh. Do you know if the dev for Tron Dash is going to allow it to be customized? I don't know, WB. That platform seems super laggy to me. TronBet to me is falling. Dude, I love playing as a slow game. Dude's fun to play, Don. TronBet, I just don't know what's going on with TronBet. I mean, I'm still optimistic, obviously, in the long run, but I can't believe that they've not developed faster than what they have, especially knowing how much Tron they earned in the beginning. All right, I'm scrolling back up just to double check, see if anyone said anything. If there's any last questions or comments, put them down now. Don Snow, I appreciate that, man. You said you watch my video every day. Gosh, man, that says a lot because I've been putting out some freaking videos. I appreciate that. I actually don't know anything about the dev, by the way, on Tron Dash. All right. I think that's everything. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Thank you for being here. Thank you, WB. I appreciate that so much. I mean, I really appreciate. Listen, it blows my mind that people even want to hear anything that I have to say about this. But it's fun to talk about it because, as you all probably know, there's not a ton of people around us who are enthusiastic about cryptocurrency, much less Tron Dapps. So it's good to be able to talk about it. And I appreciate those of you that are willing to dialogue, and I appreciate that you watch my content and you care to watch my content. Thank you, UB, because you're clearly part of my community as well. And that's a lot of times you'll hear me reference our channel. And if you ever hear me say our channel and you're like, well, who's our? Our is our community. I recognize that it's a community. Like, we're all here. Yeah, I'm the content creator. But a lot of times the content that I talk about comes from things that I read, questions that people ask. We're all here. Bitcoin for life, I got to go, brother. I got to go. I've been on for an hour and some change. Thank you, Gandhi. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Bitcoin for life. I got to give him a shout out really quick. Go check out his channel. This guy does nothing but shake out his Tron Dapp machine, aka his telephone or his laptop. But he had a cool video up. By the way, congrats on this Bitcoin for life. He had a cool video up. The guy turned, what was it, $100 into one full Bitcoin. I think I said that right. I was like, wow, good for you. That means his return on a percentage basis have been way higher than mine. Truce in the building. Welcome, welcome, Truce. Man, all the YouTube OGs are showing up. Where you guys been? Truce, keep rocking those vids, man. Truce has got a great channel. Go check his channel out. Go check out Gandhi G. Gandhi G is trying to change the world, starting with India. Yeah, he did a good job. Truce is late, but you've been quiet, Gandhi. So what does that matter? You've been quiet. You've been quiet. That's because you don't care for the Tron Dapp space. The fact that you actually listen to me talk about Tron says a lot. Truce, yeah, I just woke up. Man, I've been woke up at 5 o'clock. I want to live Truce's life. Hashtag, let me be Truce. Nah, my wife's kind of hot. I don't want to be Truce. I'm waiting for Truce, Gandhi. I like it. Well, I appreciate the fact that you even pay attention to my SHIT. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. It's been real. Until next time, have a great day. Stay safe. Don't gamble too much. Be a hodler, not a player. Let the players play, and let the casino gambling websites, the gaming websites, the Dootron websites, let them do their job at attracting players. You be a hodler. About an hour when your next video comes out. It's not going to come out in about an hour. That's kind of why I went live. I think I'm going to take a break today. I might take a break tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what develops in this space. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. God bless.